Odin is the chief deity in Norse mythology, revered as the Allfather and ruler of Asgard, the realm of the gods. Known for his wisdom, war prowess, and association with death, Odin is a complex figure embodying both knowledge and sacrifice. He is often depicted as a one-eyed, bearded man with a wide-brimmed hat and cloak, having sacrificed his eye in exchange for cosmic wisdom. Odin's quest for knowledge was so intense that he hung himself from the world tree, Yggdrasil, for 9 days to gain the secrets of the runes. Beyond wisdom, Odin is also a god of war and death. He presides over Valhalla, the hall where warriors who die bravely in battle are taken to await Ragnarok, the end of the world. Odin's connection to death is nuanced. While he welcomes fallen heroes, he also uses his shape-shifting abilities and cunning to influence the outcomes of battles and the fates of men. His ravens, Hugin and Munin, symbolize thought and memory, flying around the world to report back to him. Odin's role extends into poetry and magic. He is credited with the invention of the runic alphabet, which was used not only for writing, but also for magical purposes. His association with seers and shamans underscores his importance in the mystical and esoteric traditions of the Norse people. Odin's enigmatic character combines the pursuit of wisdom, the inevitability of death, and the power of magic into one figure. The myths surrounding Odin highlight his paradoxical nature, a god who sacrifices parts of himself for greater knowledge and yet is also a god of chaos and war. He embodies the tension between order and destruction, the known and the unknown. His stories have deeply influenced Scandinavian culture, art, and literature, and continue to inspire modern depictions in books, movies, and video games. Odin's enduring legacy is evident in the way he is perceived as a symbol of sacrifice for wisdom, leadership in adversity, and the acceptance of fate. His quest for understanding and the mysteries of life resonates across cultures, making him one of the most influential gods in mythology. From Viking sagas to contemporary fantasy, Odin's image remains powerful and relevant. Ultimately, Odin represents the complexities of existence: knowledge gained through sacrifice, power intertwined with vulnerability, and the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. His stories remind us that wisdom often comes at a price, and that leadership requires courage to face the unknown. Vishnu is one of the principal deities of Hinduism, known as the preserver and protector of the universe. He is part of the Trimurti, alongside Brahma, the creator, and Shiva, the destroyer, embodying the balance of cosmic functions. Vishnu's role is to maintain order, dharma, and protect the world from chaos and evil, often intervening through his incarnations or avatars. Among Vishnu's most famous avatars are Rama and Krishna, who appear in epic texts like the Ramayana and Mahabharata. These incarnations showcase different aspects of Vishnu's divine nature. Rama represents ideal kingship and righteousness, while Krishna embodies divine playfulness, wisdom, and spiritual guidance. Through these avatars, Vishnu directly interacts with humanity to restore balance. Vishnu is traditionally depicted with blue skin, symbolizing his infinite and all-pervading nature, and is often shown holding 4 objects: a conch shell, Shankha, a discus chakra, a mace, Gada, and a lotus flower, Padma. Each symbolizes different divine powers like creation, protection, and purity. Vishnu's consort, Lakshmi, goddess of wealth and prosperity, often accompanies him. The theological importance of Vishnu is vast, as millions of Hindus worldwide worship him and his avatars, especially in Vaishnavism, one of Hinduism's major traditions. Vishnu's worship emphasizes devotion, bhakti, and surrender to divine will, promising salvation and liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Stories of Vishnu's deeds teach moral values, the importance of righteousness, and the triumph of good over evil. His role as preserver reassures believers of divine protection and cosmic justice. Vishnu's presence is central to Hindu cosmology and spirituality. Vishnu's significance is not just religious but cultural, influencing Indian art, dance, music, and festivals. His stories have been passed down for millennia, shaping the spiritual identity of countless devotees and continuing to inspire new generations. Ra is the ancient Egyptian sun god and one of the most important deities in Egyptian mythology. He is considered the creator god who gave life to everything and traveled across the sky each day in his solar bark, bringing light and warmth to the world. Ra's journey represented the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth, closely connected to the daily rising and setting of the sun. Ra is usually depicted as a man with a falcon's head crowned with a sun disk encircled by a cobra. This symbolism emphasizes his dominion over the sky, the sun, and kingship. Pharaohs were believed to be the sons of Ra, legitimizing their divine right to rule Egypt. Ra's presence was central to the Egyptian understanding of order and harmony, Ma'at. The mythology surrounding Ra includes his battle against the chaos serpent Apophis, who tries to stop the sun's journey and plunge the world into darkness. This eternal conflict symbolizes the struggle between order and chaos, light and darkness, life and death. Each dawn's arrival was seen as Ra's victory and a reaffirmation of cosmic balance. Ra's worship was widespread and lasted thousands of years, evolving through different Egyptian dynasties. Temples dedicated to Ra, such as the Sun Temple at Heliopolis, were centers of religious life. The integration of Ra with other gods, like Amun-Ra, illustrates his importance and the adaptability of Egyptian religion. The daily solar cycle made Ra a symbol of hope, renewal, and continuity for ancient Egyptians. His influence extended into funerary practices, where the sun's journey mirrored the soul's passage through the afterlife. Ra's mythological themes continue to fascinate scholars and enthusiasts of ancient cultures. Ra remains a powerful symbol of creation, life, and the eternal rhythm of nature. His role as the bringer of light and order has made him one of the most enduring gods of human history. Allah is the singular, omnipotent deity worshipped in Islam, representing the absolute monotheistic God. The term Allah is Arabic for the God and signifies the same God worshipped in Christianity and Judaism, emphasizing the Abrahamic tradition's shared roots. Allah is understood as the creator of the universe, the all-knowing judge, merciful yet just, and the ultimate authority over life and death. Central to Islam is the belief in Allah's oneness, Tawheed, which forms the foundation of Muslim faith. Allah is beyond human comprehension, without gender or form, and is described through 99 names that represent different attributes such as the merciful, Ar-Rahman, the compassionate, Ar-Rahim, and the all-powerful, Al-Aziz. These names highlight the complex and multifaceted nature of God in Islamic theology. Allah's revelation to humanity is delivered through the Quran, believed to be the literal word of God as revealed to Prophet Muhammad over 23 years. Muslims consider the Quran the final and complete guide for life, worship, morality, and law, reinforcing Allah's role as both a personal and cosmic guide. The Quran emphasizes Allah's mercy, justice, and the importance of submission to His will. Worship of Allah encompasses daily prayers, fasting, charity, and pilgrimage, all acts meant to foster devotion and obedience. Islam teaches that life is a test, and every individual's actions are accountable to Allah on the Day of Judgment. The belief in divine justice motivates Muslims to lead righteous lives in harmony with divine commands. Allah's influence extends beyond religion into culture, law, and social systems in Muslim-majority countries. The concept of divine unity has shaped Islamic art, which avoids depictions of living beings and instead emphasizes geometric patterns and calligraphy to reflect divine beauty. This theological principle has deeply influenced the spiritual and intellectual history of Islam. In essence, Allah embodies the ultimate divine authority, mercy, and guidance. The worship of Allah defines the Muslim worldview, anchoring believers in faith, ethics, and community. Allah's presence permeates every aspect of a Muslim's life, reinforcing the connection between the divine and the mortal. Yahweh is the central and most sacred name for God in the Hebrew Bible, worshipped primarily by the ancient Israelites and continuing as the foundation of Judaism. The concept of Yahweh revolutionized religious belief by introducing strict monotheism, worship of one, singular, omnipotent, and omniscient deity, at a time when polytheism was the norm. Yahweh is portrayed as both a compassionate protector and a strict lawgiver who demands faithfulness and righteousness from his followers, entering into a unique covenant relationship with the people of Israel. The covenant with Yahweh forms the core of much of the Hebrew scriptures, promising blessings for obedience and punishment for disobedience. This relationship is dynamic and personal. Yahweh is seen not just as a distant creator, but as an active participant in human history, speaking through prophets, guiding kings, and shaping nations. The laws attributed to Yahweh, including the 10 Commandments, laid moral and ethical foundations that deeply influenced Western legal and cultural traditions. Yahweh's name itself is considered holy and ineffable. Traditionally, Jews avoid pronouncing it aloud, substituting titles such as Adonai, Lord, or Hashem, the name. This reverence highlights the mysterious and transcendent nature of Yahweh, who is beyond human understanding yet intimately involved in the fate of humanity. His attributes blend justice, mercy, power, and holiness, underscoring a God who is both just judge and loving Father. Throughout history, the concept of Yahweh expanded through Christianity and Islam, which view him as the same God, albeit understood in different theological contexts. In Judaism, Yahweh's teachings emphasize social justice, ethical monotheism, and the pursuit of holiness in everyday life. Worship practices, rituals, and festivals, such as Passover and Yom Kippur, are rooted in honoring Yahweh's covenant and celebrating his deliverance and forgiveness. Yahweh's influence extends far beyond religious boundaries, shaping art, literature, philosophy, and the moral frameworks of numerous cultures. The enduring impact of Yahweh's teachings can be seen in the global spread of the Abrahamic religions and their profound role in history and society. His portrayal as both sovereign ruler and compassionate guide continues to inspire faith and devotion worldwide. In essence, Yahweh embodies the divine ideal of a God who demands justice but offers mercy, who is transcendent yet personal, and whose covenant with humanity provides a path toward righteousness and salvation. This complex and powerful deity has molded some of the world's most influential religious traditions and remains central to the spiritual lives of billions. Amaterasu is the revered sun goddess in Shinto, the indigenous spirituality of Japan, and is considered the divine ancestor of the Japanese imperial family. Her name means shining in the heavens, and she is worshipped as the goddess of the sun, light, and the universe's life-giving energy. Amaterasu's mythological narratives are deeply intertwined with Japan's cultural identity, embodying themes of renewal, harmony, and divine authority that resonate throughout Japanese history. One of the most famous stories about Amaterasu tells of how she secluded herself in the Amano Iwato, a heavenly cave, after being insulted by her brother Susanoo, the storm god. Her withdrawal caused the world to fall into darkness and chaos, disrupting the natural order. To coax her out, the other kami, gods, performed joyful rituals, dances, and used a mirror to lure her curiosity. When Amaterasu finally emerged, light and order were restored to the world, symbolizing the power of community, ritual, and balance. Amaterasu's importance extends beyond mythology into the political realm. The Japanese imperial family claims descent from her, legitimizing the emperor's divine right to rule. This connection has played a critical role in shaping Japan's monarchy, religious practices, and national identity, with rituals and ceremonies centered around honoring Amaterasu. The Ise Grand Shrine, her primary place of worship, remains one of the most sacred sites in Japan, rebuilt every 20 years in an enduring tradition reflecting renewal and continuity. Her symbolism encompasses not only the physical sun, but also spiritual illumination, purity, and fertility. Shinto festivals dedicated to Amaterasu celebrate agricultural cycles and the vitality of life, underscoring the goddess's central role in sustaining nature and society. Her influence permeates art, literature, and folklore, inspiring generations with her representation of light triumphing over darkness. In addition, Amaterasu's story reinforces Shinto values of harmony with nature, respect for ancestors, and the importance of ritual purity. Her myth invites reflection on human emotions, such as anger and reconciliation, and the power of communal effort to restore balance. These themes continue to influence modern Japanese culture, spirituality, and societal values. Ultimately, Amaterasu stands as a radiant symbol of life, order, and divine power, embodying the sacred connection between heaven, earth, and humanity. Her legacy shines brightly through Japan's spiritual traditions and cultural heritage, inspiring reverence and devotion across centuries. Ahura Mazda, meaning wise lord, is the supreme god in Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest known monotheistic religions, founded in ancient Persia by the prophet Zoroaster around the 6th century BCE. Ahura Mazda embodies wisdom, light, truth, and goodness, serving as the creator and sustainer of the universe. His presence represents the divine principle of order, Asha, opposing chaos and falsehood embodied by Angra Mainyu, the destructive spirit. Central to Zoroastrianism is the cosmic dualism of good versus evil, where Ahura Mazda and Angra Mainyu are locked in an eternal struggle. Humans play a vital role in this conflict, as their choices and actions contribute to the triumph of either order or chaos. This ethical framework promotes personal responsibility, encouraging followers to choose truth, righteousness, and good thoughts, words and deeds. Ahura Mazda is often depicted as transcendent and beyond human form, but Zoroastrian worship involves fire temples, where fire symbolizes his eternal light and purity. Fire is not worshipped itself, but serves as a representation of Ahura Mazda's divine essence. This reverence for fire highlights the importance of purity and spiritual illumination in Zoroastrian practice. The teachings of Ahura Mazda, preserved in the Avesta scriptures, had a profound influence on later religious traditions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Concepts such as heaven and hell, the final judgment, and the resurrection can trace their origins back to Zoroastrian ideas about the ultimate triumph of good over evil and divine justice. Ahura Mazda's role extends beyond theology to ethics and cosmology, embodying an ideal of wisdom and moral clarity. The emphasis on choosing good over evil and maintaining cosmic balance has inspired ethical teachings and influenced cultures across Central Asia and the West. In sum, Ahura Mazda represents the divine archetype of wisdom, justice, and cosmic order, embodying the eternal battle between light and darkness. His teachings continue to resonate as foundational principles in the history of religion and moral philosophy. Zeus, the king of the Olympian gods in ancient Greek mythology, holds a prominent place as the ruler of the sky, thunder, and justice. He is often depicted wielding a thunderbolt, symbolizing his authority and power over both gods and mortals. Zeus's mythology is rich and multifaceted, encompassing his role as a protector of law and order, a leader in divine conflicts, and a figure whose actions profoundly influence the fates of gods and humans alike. Born to the Titans, Cronus and Rhea, Zeus famously overthrew his father to establish the reign of the Olympian gods. This myth represents the triumph of a new order and the establishment of divine justice. Zeus presides over Mount Olympus and is responsible for maintaining balance in the cosmos, ensuring that justice prevails in both the divine and mortal realms. Despite his authority, Zeus is depicted with human-like flaws, especially in his numerous romantic escapades with goddesses and mortal women. These relationships produced many famous demigods and heroes, such as Hercules, Perseus, and Helen of Troy. These myths highlight both Zeus's power and the complexities of his character, blending divine majesty with relatable human emotions. The worship of Zeus was central to ancient Greek religion and culture, with grand temples such as the one at Olympia serving as focal points for festivals and the Olympic Games held in his honor. These events celebrated physical excellence, divine favor, and communal identity, illustrating Zeus's importance in uniting city-states under shared religious practices. Zeus's impact extends beyond mythology into Western art, literature, and philosophy, where he often symbolizes ultimate authority, justice, and the unpredictable nature of fate. His narratives explore themes of power, morality, and the tension between freedom and order. In essence, Zeus embodies the archetype of divine kingship, balancing strength and wisdom, justice and passion. His enduring legacy continues to shape cultural and spiritual narratives, making him one of the most influential gods in human history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed exploring these powerful gods and their stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating history and mythology. See you in the next video.